Hi folks, this is Karim Rauf from IT Visualizer channel. Today we will continue our the Transformers Lab, our 11th video. We will continue what we started before in the previous video. We were making the a virtual machine and promoting it or making it as a workstation to join the domain, and we are making some tips and tweaks concerning the installation of the Windows and installing the basic applications, the Firefox, the Google Chrome, all of the necessary applications, and some Windows performance and best practice tweaks. So after that we will make it as an master image to clone it or to make it as a standard image for any workstation we want it to join the Transformers domain, and actually also including the tips and tweaks of the Windows installation. We'll use a program called DevProf, which is a program used to copy any Windows profile that you, for example, we will consider it as the best profile, contains all the tips and tweaks and the shortcuts and all the things we need. We will copy this profile and make it as the default Windows profile. I will do this in this video. We will see how this is done. So let's begin. So here I am powering on the virtual machine. As I said before, I have limited hardware resources, so the previous lab I saw that there was a delay and some hang in the performance of the virtual machines, so I have already stopped the other two virtual machines. I need only this machine to make the tips and tweaks I said, and then after that, when I need it to join the domain, I will open the other two virtual machines, which are the two domain controllers that I have, and one of them is the file server that contains all of the share folders and the dynamic access control rules and the write management service, all of this, but until we need it, we will power it on. So here we're logged into the machine. We have all of the setting done. We have all of the programs done. Okay. I think we will still do some tips and tweaks concerning the Windows. We have already installed all of the necessary applications: Firefox, Office, VLC, 7-zip for extracting the compressed files, and Adobe Reader, and all of the necessary applications. So now I think, let's see, because I don't know, actually I forgot what I did, but I am okay. Here we will do another one of the Windows tweak. Let me explain it. Here, when you install the Windows 10, or when the Windows 10 system was introduced, before that, for viewing the photos or images on Windows, there was a program used which called Windows Photo Viewer. Okay, in Windows 7 and Windows XP. After introducing the Windows 10, this application was replaced by something called Windows Photo. It is a Windows application, Windows Store application. Okay, so it's a little bit not complicated. It's not simple as the Windows Photo Viewer, or some actually prefer Windows Photo Viewer on using Windows Photo Viewer instead of using the Windows Photo. We can see this in any Windows 10 application. If you open it, your Windows 10 system, you can open and see that the default photo viewer or the image viewer, it is called Windows Photo. Okay, photo, but it's not photo viewer. It's just to differentiate. Okay, so there is a tweak that you can reactivate or re-enable this Windows. It's still, this Windows Photo Viewer is still in Windows 10, but it is deactivated. So we will have a tweak to re-enable it and use it as a default Windows Image Viewer instead of the Windows Photo, which is an application used, or it is an application from the Windows Store application. We will see that now in a moment. I can just show you here the Windows photo. Okay, we can see here. So here is the application that is used for by default on Windows 10 to view the images. For example, let me open one of them. So here it is the application used. Okay, so this is mainly it's a good application, but it's a little bit not as simple as the Windows Photo Viewer. So as we can see now, this is the default Windows image viewer. Okay, but if we use the Windows Photo Viewer, let me show you the Windows Photo Viewer. Okay, let's go to an image. For example, here is this one, and we would right click and open with. Okay, I think here I have, you will see if the photo here Windows Photo Viewer is not enabled by default. It's disabled or not activated. Okay, here. So if you want to use the Windows Photo Viewer, it's not there, so we will have a little tweak, a registry key to re-enable it. Okay, we all know what is Windows Photo Viewer. We will see that in the video, but this is the default Windows image viewer software. So for the another tweak that we will use, that we will reactivate the Windows Photo Viewer and make it as a default Windows image viewer. Let's see that now in a moment. Okay, so here also there is a tweak. After enabling it, you need to make it as a default for every image extension. For example, you have to make it the default for .jpg, for .ping, for .gif. All of this have to be done manually, but we will see that now in a moment. So now we will open, because actually Windows Photo Viewer is more simpler and have a simple interface, and it's not RAM consumable like the photo application that Windows 10 uses as a default. Okay, and you also will install the calculator. This is something old calculator for Windows 7. This is more simple also application, more simpler than the calculator in Windows 10. While we use it, it's more simpler and also less RAM consumable. So I prefer also to install it. So we will make two tweaks. First, we will activate the Windows Photo Viewer, and we will install the old Windows calculator for simplicity. These two programs are more simple and less RAM consumable. Okay. So I prefer them to be in my image. Okay. If this error appears because I am running this registry key from a share folder, so actually this error appears. So I will put it locally on my machine and then run it, and then it will successfully be imported. The key will be imported successfully. So here there is two registry keys, one to activate and one to deactivate. We will activate it. Yes. We will add the registry key. It is added. So now we have to go to the photos. Every image extension, for example, if you have a .jpg photo, you have to right click and tell it to be the Windows Photo Viewer to be the default viewer for it. You have to do this for every image extension. I know it's a little bit of a headache, but there is no way to make the Windows Photo Viewer the default image viewer for all of the image extensions. Okay, so we have to do it one by one. Okay, for here we will tell him open with. Okay, and then we will choose here. As you see before, the Windows Photo Viewer is not in the application list, but here after activating or reactivating this or importing this registry key, we'll see Windows Photo Viewer appearing, and then we tell him always use this application to view this image extension. So as we see now here, when double click on the photo, sorry, it's a little bit hanging. So here, as we see, now we use the old Windows Photo Viewer. Okay, we have, as I said before, I have to do this for every image extension. So now it is working. As for the old calculator, as I said, it's also the Windows 10 contains a calculator, but it's also a Windows Store application. So if you like to disable the Windows Store or don't use the Windows Store application. So this calculator, it's not related to the Windows Store. You can use it, and it's also less RAM consumable, and it's not related to the Windows Store, so you can use it safely. So here we will do another tweak, as we all see. Let me pause the video for a moment. We all know that the Windows 10, before in Windows 7 there was an option to be done when booting the system for the first time. You can press F8 to get the Windows boot menu, which contains safe mode, network mode, network safe, network command, safe and network boot, a lot of things, last known good configuration. All of this was removed from Windows 10, as Microsoft says. This is for as it was said, it was for making the boot process much faster. Okay, so if a problem happens in Windows 10 and you need to access the safe mode, how you have to access it? Actually, you have two ways. You have to put a CD-ROM, okay, a Windows 10 CD-ROM, and then boot, and then tell him to repair. Get to the installation menu for the Windows and tell him to repair this PC, and then you will get to the menu of repairing, which contains the safe mode and the other things to be done. This is or the command prompt. This is from the Windows 10 installation CD or DVD. Or if you want to access the safe mode, you have to boot normally to the Windows, and then from the msconfig, it's a utility used, you can tell him to boot in safe mode. You have to go normally to the Windows, boot normally, and then from the Windows itself tell it the next time it restarts to be in the safe mode. This is, well, if I can't boot in the normal mode, what I can do, then I need to put the Windows 10 installation DVD and then begin repairing. So it's not easy as Windows 7. In Windows 7, if I have a problem with booting in normal mode, just press F8 and then go to the safe mode and then begin the repairing process. So there is no way we can do this in Windows 10 except for doing this tweak. Okay, this tweak simply that you put in the boot menu 2 or 3 entries. Every entry will be a kind of boot. For example, as we'll see now, we can make the second entry as safe mode entry, and then make the third one as safe network entry, and every one we will put it as a setting for safe mode and the safe network mode. We will see that now in a moment. But as I said before, this will be much easy if I can in Windows 10 just I can choose or can make something like in Windows 7, pressing F8, and I choose from a list of boot menus, or a list of booting process, or a list of booting systems. This will be much easier instead of putting the CD or the Windows 10 DVD and then beginning the repair process. So let's see how this is done. Well, actually it is done through the command prompt. We will copy this command. It's a command. I have put all of the PDF for doing this. I put it in the Transformers script folder, which is will be in the description in every video I put. The Transformers script folder, it will be done. I put in the description of every video I put, and it will be in a Google Drive link. This will be in the description for every video I put on my YouTube channel. So now this is the command that that will be used, okay, to actually this command, it copies the line, or the, let's see that it's copies the current system boot line and makes a copy of it. Okay, we will see that now in a moment. It's called bcedit boot, copy the current boot line, okay, and make another one of it. So we will see now how can this will be in our advantage. We will see that, and we will copy this line and name it as safe mode. Okay, there is an error because I make it the brackets wrong. The brackets has to be done in a different way. It's not this brackets. Current have to be put in a different brackets. Let's see this. So actually, we will see this how this is in practical way, because actually maybe this explanation is not clearly or is not crystal clear. So we'll see that when we open the boot menu and see how this is done. Okay. I think also we need to run it as the command prompt in administrator privileges. Okay, so now it is successfully done. We'll make one for safe mode and one for safe network mode. Okay, we'll make 2 entries. Okay, in the boot menu. This will appear for you when you boot the Windows 10. We will see that also practically when we restart the machine and see how these options appear. Now we will run msconfig. This will brings up the console for the boot menu. Okay, we'll see that now in a moment. Here the services startup. Here the boot menu, we see 2 entries appearing, safe mode and network mode. Here we will click on the safe mode line and then tell him safe boot minimal. This will be the safe mode, and then save network port. We will also click on safe and then network. So this will enable network in safe mode, and the other will enable safe mode minimal drivers. The same in Windows 7 alternative, or the same as corresponding to the Windows 7. So we have 2, one for the safe mode and one for the network mode. We can add another one for the command prompt mode. We will see that in a moment. Just a minute. Yes, we can add safe mode with command prompt. We have safe mode with command prompt and minimal drivers. Okay, or the default drivers for the Windows, and we can have safe mode. Okay, with command prompt without minimal drivers. Let's see that what I mean. Or alternative shell has it. Okay, you can all read the document, but this is the way for doing it. We will now add 2 modes of Windows, safe mode and safe network mode, and safe mode with command prompt. As it said, for safe mode with command prompt you can select alternative shell. For safe mode with network you have to choose the network. Check the safe mode and then click network for safe network mode, and for safe mode, normal safe mode, click safe mode and minimum, and for safe mode with command prompt you check safe mode and then alternative shell. Okay, but first I need to add another entry. We will add another entry, okay, and name it as safe mode with command prompt. As I said, this command copies the first boot line, or the Windows 10 normal boot entry. Okay, safe mode with CMD. Okay, and then it is done. We will see it. We just need to open the command, run, and then msconfig. We'll just change this one, and then run, and then msconfig, and then we will get to the boot, and then command with CMD, and then we will click on safe boot and alternative shell. This is safe mode with command prompt, network with safe mode network, and safe mode with safe mode minimal. This is 3 modes or 3 lines of boot. We will see how this will be in effect when we restart the PC and see these options appearing in the boot menu. Apply, and then first of all we need to check make all boot setting permanent before making apply and OK, and then we will restart. So normally what will happen, that the boot process will be delayed a little bit, okay, but for your own sake, or for I don't mind that the boot process to be delayed 2 or 3 seconds or even 5 seconds to have these three modes of booting, because actually as I said before, if I need to repair something, I need to put the Windows 10 DVD and then boot and then repair, or I have to go normally Windows boot normally and then tell him to the next restart to be in safe mode. What if I can't boot to the normal boot normally? So as we see boot normally, as we see here, we have the three modes: Windows 10, Windows Safe Mode, Windows Network. Just choose the mode that you need. Windows 10, this is the normal booting. If you want safe mode, just choose and enter. So I will just choose the normal one. So this is already done. This is another tweak. It's useful one, actually. I see it as useful one. I have already implemented it in my production environment. In some PCs also, this is for testing. So here we have done the tweak for two tweaks, reactivate, or three tweaks as we can say, reactivating Windows Photo Viewer and installing Windows 7 old calculator. Okay, as we said, if you don't want to use the Windows 10 calculator, because I think if the Windows Store is not available, so this application will not be available. This is number one, and also the old calculator is less RAM consumable, and also the Windows Photo Viewer is less RAM consumable. And we have added the Windows 10 Safe Mode tweak. This is the tweak number 3. So here there is another tweak, or let's say there is something I need to. Okay, here, sorry, no, this is the start menu, or the normal start menu for Windows 10, and the default programs. Okay, why I am checking the start menu for Windows 10 and the default programs? Okay, as I said before, I am using a program called DevProf, which is it's normal, or what does it do? It just, for example, we have this profile for the master user. We have the master user Windows profile. We will do all of the tweaks and all of the things, the setting we need, and then we will use this DevProf to make this master, to copy this master user Windows profile to be the default Windows 10 profile for every user. So every user is created on this machine. We will have all of these tweaks for him. We will see all of the shortcuts there in the taskbar. We will see the same start menu. We will see the same shortcuts. We will see all of the tweaks done in the previous videos, which will be available for him. So the problem for DevProf that two things it doesn't copy. It doesn't copy the default program setting. For example, as you said before, set your default program. For example, if you have set the Adobe Reader, for example, in this profile to be the default program for using PDF, the DevProf doesn't copy this setting from this profile, for the master user profile, to the default Windows 10 profile. So, and actually, although the start menu, the normal start menu for Windows 10, also it doesn't copy this layout. So, to get around this problem, we will export all of the default program application setting to a .xml file, and actually we will also export the Windows 10 normal start menu layout, not the classic shell layout. We will export it also as XML, and then we will use a group policy to implement it to users. So every user will join the domain and have a group policy applied to have the default programs application setting applied to him. For example, if I set, for example, here that the Chrome to be the default program for browsing and the Adobe Reader to be the default program for browsing PDFs and the VLC to be the default program for media player, all of this will be applied to the user's through group policy, because the dev prof doesn't copy when copying the profile, copying the master user profile and make it as a default Windows. It doesn't copy the default programs setting and the start menu for Windows 10 layout, the normal start Windows menu layout, to the default Windows 10. We will see that also in the coming lab or the coming video. We'll see how this is done. So here we're just making the default. I am making the default application setting. I am just preparing it, as I said, because I will export it and then I will apply it to all users in the domain. After that, through a group policy, and also the start layout for the Windows 10. Also, I will export it and implement it to all users in the domain. Okay. So I'm just here changing the applications, the application default programs. And Windows Explorer, I will change it to Chrome. Just revising the default programs for all of the file extensions. We'll see also when using the dev prof, we will see two errors appearing concerning the default application setting and the start menu layout. We will see that. So for this error, or because of this error, I'm using or I'm exporting the default application layout, the default application as XML, and apply it through a group policy, and also the start menu layout for Windows 10. We will see that when we apply it in production, or we'll see that when I join this PC to the domain, and we will see how this appears or how this is in effect. So now I will begin the process of exporting the default programs application list and the Windows 10 start menu layout. I will export it also as an XML file, as I said before. This is to be done through the command prompt, but I think I'm seeing another thing. Okay, there is another tweak also. I need to discuss it with you. When you have an Outlook, you are configuring an Outlook account for a user. Okay, the default location for the OST file, which is the file for storing the mails and everything. Okay, this is an OST file. It's normally put in C Outlook, something like in the C drive. So I need this to be changed, because as I said before, it's not a best practice to put anything in the C instead of the system. All of the user data and all of the user data documents should be transferred or changed to the D. As I said in the previous lab, I have already made a folder named My Documents and transferred all of or moved all of the default Windows folder files like pictures, Windows pictures, Windows videos, Windows music, and Windows documents. All of these are moved to My Documents. So if for any reason you need to format the C drive, all of the data of the user will be is not impacted or not affected. So also as a default, the Windows, when configuring the Outlook for the first time, it puts the OST file for the email in the C. So you need to change it to the D. So to do this, we will do it through a registry key, okay, to be changed in the Windows. Okay, so this registry key should be done under the registry key of current user. Okay, I tried to do this, but actually, because I didn't configure any Outlook on this PC, so the registry key will not appear. So in a coming video, I will do this through a group policy. I will not do it through the local machine. I will do this through a group policy and push it to the all clients through this group policy. And actually also this is through a PDF. I have already put it in the transformers folders. As I said before, it will be in the description of every video I put, and this the transformers scripts and documents and PDFs I used in my lab will be on a Google Drive link, which will be in the description of every video I put on my YouTube channel. So here, this is briefly what I am trying to do through the registry key to change the default OST file location for the Microsoft Outlook program. Okay, this is the PDF that how to change the Outlook default OST location to be in another location. We will open it through a registry key called Software Microsoft Office 1602 and then Outlook, and then add a new string. Okay, this is the way how we can do it. But as I said before, I didn't install or configure any Outlook account on this PC, so this menu or this shape doesn't appear for me. So I have first to configure an Outlook, even if just doing a fake account or just opening the Outlook and make any changes. So this menu will appear for me. So as I said before, this will not be available for me now. I will do it in an upcoming video. We will see that. So let's bypass it. Okay, I'm just making it more faster. Okay, as I said before, this will not be done. Here we'll open My Documents, and in Documents we'll make a folder and name it Outlook. Here we will put the OST, or we'll tell the Windows to put the default to put every Outlook OST file in this folder to be the default location for it. I don't know what I'm doing here. Let's see. Okay, now we will begin the process of making this profile, the master user Windows profile, to be the default Windows profile for every user. So now I am using a program called DevProf. As I said before, this is a program that is used to copy the profile of Windows and making it as a default Windows profile. First of all, I am just enabling the administrator account so I can go to it or log in with it and use my DevProf program to copy the master Windows user profile and copying it and making it as a Windows 10 default profile. We'll see that in a moment, and also we'll see it live. I will make a test user and see after copying the profile if the profile of the master user Windows profile will be copied or will be as a default Windows profile. I will not talk much. Let's see that practically. Okay, so here we have enabled the administrator. I am just making sure it is an administrator group. Okay, I'm just checking that the password never expire, because this is an option need to be unchecked, because if never expire, then it's not a security standard, security breach or security standard not to make the admin password never expire. We needed to make it expire. Okay, so it have to be changed every time. So here we log into administrator. Okay, this is the welcome animation screen. As I said before, I have making the group policy for this welcome animation screen to be disabled, so not to take so much time when logging in with the user for the first time, or creating and logging in every user every time for the first time to log into or for the first time for creating the user on this PC. We don't need every time we create a new user for this Windows animation screen to appear. It will take a little bit of time. So to speed the process, I have disabled it through a group policy and implement it and make it as a default domain policy. So now we will disable all of the online features. Also, this can be done through a group policy. So here we will open the command prompt. As we see in the previous seconds, I have already copied the program. I will extract it. Okay, extract the program. It's an exe file, normal exe file. We will open the command prompt and go to this location. We'll open a command prompt with administrative rights, of course. cmd, right click, okay, and then run as an administrator, and then cd to go to the location of this program, and then def prof, and we will choose the profile that we need to make it as first.exe, and we'll choose the profile that we need to make it as a default profile. First of all, I need to go to the location, and then def prof make.exe, make the master profile as the default profile. Here he will install a service. Let me demonstrate this. He will install a Windows service, and he will call it Forensics App Management Service. This is the service that the program will use to copy the master user Windows profile to be the default Windows profile. Well, some maybe have a concern concerning this service, if it's a security or it's spying. Okay, you can just enable this service, okay, and after finishing the copying you can disable it or uninstall it after that. This is for you, but you can make the process of the copying of the profile, and then after that disable this service or uninstall it completely. So I tell him he is asking to install the service and make it as the default profile making it to manage Windows Store apps for the default profile. So we tell him yes, okay, and then we will tell the program defprof.exe to make the master, okay, def exit. As we see here, if you have a little notes, you will see that the start menu and the desktop and the shortcuts, all of this It's not like the master user Windows profile. We see that it's completely different. But after copying the master user Windows profile and make it as a default Windows 10 profile, we'll see that all users that will log in on this machine will have the same uh, master user Windows 10 profile setting, the same the same shape, the same shortcuts. Everything will be the same as Windows user master profile. So we'll see that in a moment. Okay, we'll make another user and name it test, so we can log in with it and see if the setting of the user named master will be copied to it, because the Windows 10 will use the Windows 10 default user profile as the profile for creating it for this user. Okay, we'll see now. First we will go and then we see now also that the default default application is different than the one for the master. So now we will, I don't know, I am logging off. Yes, I have already copied, sorry, we have already copied the profile. Now we will log in with, we have already done the copying process of the profile. When we log in with test, we will see that the Windows start menu and the shortcuts and the desktop icons, all of this is typical complete copy or typical copy of the master user. So here, let's continue. Here we will see that we'll log in with the test user. We'll see that the start menu and the icons, all of this is typical from the master user profile. As we already copied as from the previous, yes, we will see now that it's the same one. All of the setting, you will see here an error that the default apps reset. As I said before, the devprof doesn't copy the default application setting and the start menu setting, the normal start menu setting, not the classic shell start menu setting. So we'll do this through a group policy. We'll export the default apps for Windows for this user, default app for this user, and the start menu layout for this user. We will export it also and take it and make it in a group policy and push it to all of the users. We'll see that in the upcoming videos. We'll see how this is implemented. So it's not only talking. We will see that in a practical way. Okay. Now I will export, as I said before, the default app setting for this user and the Windows 10 start menu layout for this user. First I will just disable again the administrator. So I will delete the test user because I have already tested my setting and it's working. And I will leave the administrator and master. I said before, this is the layout, the normal Windows layout, start menu layout. This we will export it. This will export the setting of this menu, and the default application also setting will be exported as 2 XML files, and we will push it to all of the users in the domain. So every user logs into domain will have this start menu layout and the default and this default programs application setting. So there is 2 commands to export this. It's done through the PowerShell. We will see that in a moment. here we will go to the, I have already also put this document or this URL in the transformers folder, how to export and import default application setting. Here is the command. Here there is an error. I forgot to put the name of the file that will be exported as an XML. So I have already changed the location. I will export, as I said before, the default application setting for this user to push it to all of the users in the domain. This will be the default application user profile. Application user profile. The default application for default users profile. Okay. I forgot to put the name of the file at the end, so there is where an error will appear. I needed to name it, but I forgot to put the name, so it will give an error. It said that's access denied. I have to put the name of the file that I need it to be exported as an XML. So this is the error. I have also took a little bit of time to recognize that, so I'll make it a little bit. I have okay here, just trying it again. Okay, but I forgot to put the name, so I'm just troubleshooting, but at the end, let me just fast forward it, and this is just a minute. Let's go back. This is for the menu for exporting the default application setting, and there is another one for exporting the Windows 10 start menu layout. This is another one. I have also put this PDF in the transformers folder, scripts. Okay. As I said before, I will export what is the start menu layout. This is, let's see now. This is the start menu layout for the Windows 10. I will export this one and make it as the default start menu layout for all of the users in the domain, okay? But not with all of this setting, because as I said before, the Windows 10 LTSC is more stripped out of this all. I need only this default setting on the left to be for all of the users, okay? The start menu layout to be as this, okay? So we'll return back. This command will do the exporting, as I said. Okay, I forgot to put the name of the file. This also. I'm opening the PowerShell command. Okay, but actually the problem was not with the PowerShell command. My problem was that I didn't put the file name at the end of the command. I have to put the file and the extension of the file at the end. So you will see that after several trials, I knew where the problem was. Actually, it's simple, but I wasn't concentrating. Okay, I forgot to put the name also. The same error. So I will put the name of the file. So now it is exported. We can do this also for the default application setting. You will see now that it is exported. Okay, and we'll use these two files to be pushed to all of the users in the domain. So every user will have the same start layout for the master user profile and the same default application for the master user profile. Operation is done. So to make sure that I am correct, I will do it from the command prompt. I will delete the two files and repeat this process through the command prompt, not the PowerShell. Or run the command prompt as administrative rights. With administrative rights, of course, yes. So now it is exported. And I will copy this file, okay, or this folder to my collection or the transfers, the transformers folder script. So I will use it later in a group policy to push it to all of the users in the domain. I will take a snapshot because after now we have done all of the setting that we need and all of the tweaks that we need. Now we will need to make the master image, make this as an image, and to be the master image for any virtual machine. I will do later. We will see that in a moment. It's like making sysprep or preparing making sysprep and taking an image of the PC. We will do this, okay, but through the VMware Workstation Pro. How this is done? You turn off the machine and then before turning off the machine you will take a snapshot. Actually, sorry, you have to turn off the machine and then take a snapshot, as I said before, through the VMware Workstation Pro, and then use this snapshot as to make it clone or take it as the source. Okay, we'll see that now. We will take this snapshot and to be this as the image for the new virtual machines. We'll see that. We'll see this practically. We'll see that what that is mean. What does that mean? Sorry, what I mean, after we turn off the machine, virtual machine, we will take a snapshot and use this snapshot to create a new machine, a new virtual machine. Okay, and actually this new machine will contain all of the setting or all of the things we have done in the first machine, or all of the things we have done in our machine. We will see that how this is applied. I will do it in a moment. It's like cloning, it's like imaging. You're taking an image of a PC and then making a new machine and apply this image to it. This is the whole process in brief. So here we will, after powering off the machine, virtual machine, we will take a snapshot. Okay, and name it master image. And from this snapshot, we will make a completely new virtual machine with all of the setting and system and everything that is from the first machine that this snapshot is taken from. We will see that now. We will here, we took a snapshot and then we will right click and tell him to clone, make a copy of it. Okay, here is from the manage. This is the master image. Right click, okay, and manage and then clone. Okay, we will clone this PC or this virtual machine from the master image we have taken from a couple of seconds. Create a full clone. Okay, and then we'll make a new virtual machine. We'll name it 2. It will have the same setting of the first machine, which is HP 1008 bot 1. It will take some time. We'll pause the video. The cloning is done. Actually, even the cloned machine will have a complete different network MAC address, and it's different but have the same setting. It's like making a Windows image or making an image of a Windows 10 PC and apply this image to another PC, fresh PC. Okay, so now we will power on the machine, the newly cloned machine, and we'll see it will contain the exact setting and applications of the first machine. You will see that contains the boot menu we have did in the first virtual machine. This whole process is like cloning. Oh, sorry, it's like making an image and applying this image to a new PC. This is the same process. As I said before, it's like doing sysprep in Windows 10. Here we will see it contains the same hard disk, the same RAM, the same all of the hardware setting, but there is difference in the MAC address. This is the MAC address is different than the MAC address of the master image or the master PC. You will see there's a complete different MAC address of these two virtual machines is different. And then when you log in, we will see the same two users that is done in the previous virtual machine. We have seen all of the settings there. So now we will shut down the machine. So this is concludes for our video for making all the tips and tweaks for the Windows, okay, and then making the master image and then applying this master image to another virtual machine through cloning option through the VMware Workstation Pro. So until I see you all in the upcoming video, wish you all of the best. Bye for now.